don't refer me to the grievance committee. They still did. And he got mad over that. Anyway, it's interesting as I watch all this happen, right? So now the new shakedown is to try to get Fat Joe, right? So he's now trying to get Fat Joe. And by the way, we're going to read through this lawsuit, but I got to give you the premise because you're going to hear certain things. You're like, what the fuck? Now, before I get to that, and if you're looking for a Diddy update, we're going to get to the Diddy update. And by the way, this is kind of like a Diddy update. This guy has sued Diddy multiple times. So the same lawyer has sued Diddy multiple times. Here's what ironically happens, right? So because they hit up Fat Joe trying to shake him down. What's this? Is this Devin Haney? Oh, no, it's Pat-Man Jones. Because they try to sue, or I guess they sent a demand letter to not Devin Haney. I mean, Fat Joe. Fat Joe realized this is an extortion attempt. I keep trying to tell y'all the best way to defame somebody is to file a lawsuit. The new hustlers, I mean, they've always been the hustlers of really culture and entertainment, are lawyers who know how to seed stories that will ruin your reputation, that by the time you get a verdict, everybody done forgot about it. Everybody only remembers when the lawsuit drops. You get Rolling Stones to run it. You get Time Magazine to run it. You get TMZ to run it. And after, just hearing the accusations, nobody gives a fuck about the truth. So the only way you could defame someone's character, you sue them. You get a lawyer who's not going to do their due diligence. You tell him anything, and maybe the lawyer even adds on some shit like, hold on, you sure you ain't fucking ass? I'm going to put that in there anyway. And now it comes out, and all these allegations and all these rumors end up ruining your reputation. And even if later on you get absolved, nobody cares. They're only going to remember that you got sued. It's the new shakedown, okay? I've realized, and by the way, I told you I'm getting my law degree this year. I'm going to start because it's going to take a couple years. If I wasn't in the media, I understand how being a media personality is very important. It's very powerful. When you have a big media company, you could control the narrative. That's really important. I like that. There's a part of, outside of the pay and whatever, I do like that. If I wasn't a media personality, I would definitely be a lawyer. I'd be one of these Alex Spiro. I'm not saying he's a liar, but I'm just saying I'd be one of these Alex Spiro dudes who your reputation and your livelihood could depend on me, depend on if I want to file a lawsuit or not. That's it. I could get you to go broke by just filing lawsuits that you got to go hire real attorneys. You got to go pay hundreds of thousands of dollars just because I paid $150 to submit some bullshit lawsuit. You got to go pay, because here's the thing, there's no celebrity that's going to get the cheap lawyer for $3,500, so you're going to go pay $100,000 for a good lawyer. So now I almost got you in a bind. You either got to pay me money or waste hundreds of thousands to try to prove your innocence. But even if you do that, I already ruined your reputation because I sent it to all the media outlets. So you're done. You're fucking finito. So anyway, I'm watching this. Diddy can't fight his battle versus his lawyer, right? But he tried it with, he didn't try it with Jay. He didn't try it with Jay. That was Busby that tried it with Jay. Busby got humbled. Busby's out of here. We won't hear about Busby till 3010, okay? Here's the funny thing about this. Remember, Diddy can't fight that. Diddy's worried about the federal trial. Keep in mind, I mean, there are elements that seemingly may have been true that came out in the Diddy trial, but Lil Rod, who had the most salacious lawsuit, is not a victim, never took a stand. Clearly, the government looked at the lawsuit and said, we're not going to put you up there. We're going to lose. Okay, let me give you the plot. So the same lawyer that we're talking about, because they asked for like $20 million from Fat Joe, before they filed the lawsuit, what Fat Joe did, he hired A$AP Rocky's lawyer, Joe Tacopina, my new favorite, or one of my favorite new attorneys. You know, I fuck with Bradford Cohen. And what happened, and by the way, you know what the funny part is? Homie been practicing law like for a few years out of law school. There's no really big case he's won. He's just like, the dude is just out here like kind of just jugging and finessing, trying to shake people down because people usually will pay out to avoid the reputation hit. Which, by the way, you know what's funny? Oh, I'll give you another thing. I'll give you another thing, too. I'll give you another thing. You know everybody be talking about, oh, Act don't talk about his case. Well, I can't talk about certain things in my case. But I'll say this. If anyone was interested, go look at my case. The judge just told him the same thing Matt judges be telling him. Because he pushed for a default judgment saying that we didn't give discovery, which we did. And the judge literally wrote a letter and said, you misunderstand this rule of how shit happens in New Jersey. The judge is telling the nigga the same thing. This dude is just I don't know, he just got a law degree doing whatever, right? For everybody who cares about my case, go look at it. The last thing filed is the judge telling him, no, we will not do that because they said some dumb shit. They're like, oh, we need bookmarks and blah, 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 blah. No, we gave you discovery. We gave you what we had. Your motion to get a default judgment is denied. And your understanding, because they were like, oh, we spent hours to do this, so we need to get compensated for our law hours. As per rule, New Jersey rule, ba. And the New Jersey the New Jersey judge literally said, brother, that's not how this shit works. And literally wrote it in paper. So for all the people who care about it, I know y'all won't ever report fairly about it, but go look at the last thing filed, okay? It's public. Anyway, I still can't talk crazy about it, Anyway, Fat Joe, they sent Fat Joe a letter, give us $20 million, which is crazy. Like, what the fuck? Give us $20 million or we're going to say you fuck kids. Like, chat, this is what's going on nowadays. Give us $20 million or we're going to say you fuck kids. Okay, so Fat Joe hires Joe Tacopina, which is A$AP Rocky's lawyer, and they're aggressive. I like lawyers like that. I like the Brian Steeles of the world. I like the Joe Tacopinas, right? You know what happens? Joe Tacopina files a lawsuit before they file a lawsuit, and he sues them for extortion. Because think about it, this is kind of like extortion. Like, anybody who's still getting this guy, like, I can't take you too serious. We heard in court someone who might be a victim say, oh, my lawyer told me to put that in there. That ain't happened, but my lawyer told me. Who's the lawyer? Same nigga. Anyway, so they sued the dude for extortion, right? The dude shows up to the Diddy trial, which is he shows up to the Diddy criminal trial. Now, granted, he has a few clients that are suing Diddy on a civil level, including this nigga right here, Little Rod. But none of his clients are involved in the criminal case. But they show up because now people are taking pictures. This is why we got all these pictures of him. He just shows up. He shows up with the guys suing him in civil court, but he shows up in the criminal court, if you ask me, clout chasing. So what happened is Fat Joe's lawyer, Joe Tacopina, said, oh shit, we could serve him. Now, when you file a lawsuit against someone, a civil suit, you got to serve them. You got to give them the papers, right? And essentially what happened is that they tried to serve the lawyer because they're suing the lawyer pretty much for extortion. Because that's kind of what he's using a law degree to extort niggas. Okay. They said on May 12th, right? This is probably around the time that dude showed up. He was getting into his vehicle, and there was a 66-year-old messenger, which is a process server, that was trying to serve him a complaint in the Fat Joe case. They said the dude, lawyer, slammed his car into reverse, so he's not trying to get served, which is so ironic. The guy who files mad lawsuits against other people doesn't want to get served. How ironic. He slams his car into reverse, backed up. He hits the 66-year-old guy in the leg, caused a minor injury. The victim did report the incident to police. Then he apparently just got arrested. Okay, now he got arrested. I believe he got released. And here we go. Tacopina told us Blackburn sent a demand letter. They wanted $3 million. So they wanted $3 million. Obviously, Fat Joe was like, I'm not paying you shit. Now they sue for $20 million, right? this is Taco Pina talking about it, right? So Taco Pina, I like this guy. Hard nosed. He takes everything to task. Remember, everyone was saying, Rocky, take the plea. Take the plea. Not this badass lawyer right here. He's like, no, we're going to beat the case. And he did. So he's realizing what's stunt that this guy, this lawyer that is suing everybody. He's the one who put Nicki Minaj's name up in the shit when it was about her husband, try to whatever, sued who else? There's a bunch of people. T.I. Tiny. It's just a bunch of people, which is like just erroneous shit. But you know what that does? You get to waste people's resources. So cool. Hear what Taco Pina said. And then we're going to get into the lawsuit, actually.
When you first...
Let me cue up the lawsuit on the side. I'm just waiting until this ad passes, y'all. I know y'all hate ads. And I do have I don't have ad blocker anymore. But I have YouTube Prime or YouTube, whatever it's called. Anyway, welcome. All right, Jesus Christ. These ads are long as shit. Here we go.
This twist of him allegedly driving over your process server.
How'd that go down?
You could take allegedly out of that question, but it went down where a 66-year-old guy who was hired just to do a job of serving a lawsuit on this guy decided he wasn't going to accept service. He didn't want to be served. So he took his car and ran into him.
How is he?
He's okay. I mean, he's 66, not the youngest guy in the world, but he had some damage. He went to the hospital, had some leg, damage, but he's
going to be okay.
Live, thank God. Right. Yeah. Oh, he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. They issued an arrest warrant, and they arrested him this morning, which comes, by the way, as no surprise to me at all, guys. No surprise. It's just the latest example of his malicious and manipulative pattern of misconduct, finally coming to light. He really is an embarrassment to the legal community. This guy, it's a disgrace watching him use the court system to shield his extortionate tactics. Two federal judges, listen to what I'm about to say to you guys. Two federal judges in the same courthouse, Southern District of New York, have already said to him in writing, in filings on two separate cases, that
add to that a New Jersey judge too, in my situation.
He's misusing the court system,
misunderstanding the law,
to embarrass people, to garner publicity for himself, to misstate facts, misapply the law that he doesn't clearly know. If two federal
Joe Tacopina, you're doing the Lord's work, okay? Yo, me and my attorney be texting back and forth this and be like, I see this? No, nigga, did you see this? I'm like, oh shit.
Judges said that about me and wrote that in an opinion, which is in our complaint. I would go serve espressos at Starbucks for the rest of my life. Don't forget how this went down, guys. This went down where he initially made a demand, this Dixon, to Fat Joe. He was a hype man, literally a hype man. Guy who jumps around and, hypes people up. That's all he did. From 15 years ago, by the way. So he then said, oh, well, I wrote half your songs. Give me $3 million. And, Fat Joe was like, huh? What are you talking about? That was the end of that. So because they didn't reply to that, because he didn't get money from that, the next letter from Blackburn came saying, yeah, I wrote half your songs. Give me money for that. And also I saw you have sex with minors. Like, wait, what? Where did that come from? How did that miss the first letter, the first demand?
What?
I mean, it's so pathetic. And look, we've spoken to some of the people he claims this happened to in the lawsuit. Unfortunately, he hasn't.
What you've discovered is he didn't, from what you found, that he didn't vet these claims at all before filing this lawsuit.
Correct. One of the people don't even know who Fat Joe is. So anyway, this is all going to come out. This is why we litigate. But this today's news is just this. It should be shocking when a lawyer gets arrested. It should be shocking when a lawyer gets arrested for committing felony assault on someone. But unfortunately and sadly, it's not shocking with this guy.
Ironic. Okay. So I do have the lawsuit, and I had to play all that because we're going to take it with a grain of salt. Okay? This is a grain of salt. All right? Again, a grain of salt. So, Terrence Dixon, aka Todd. Does anyone know this individual? I'm not too familiar with him. There's some Cuban guy. Cuban Links. I've heard about that guy. That used to be around Fat Joe. Don't know about this guy that much. Let me see. T.A. Fat Joe. Let me see. What happened between you and Fat Joe? Oh, so this is the guy. Hold on.
Niggas try to press us in the store one time downtown. A few dudes, man. I told that nigga Joe, yo, get out the store. I will fuck all y'all niggas up. What's up? Willing to take the L, bro. I'm not scared of nobody, bro, but I just respected Fat Joe, bro. I really felt like Fat Joe was gonna look out for me, bro. And he didn't, bro.
Okay, so y'all could tell already, this guy, I think this is a guy, right? T.A. Ta, right? Something Dixon, whatever, right? Terrence Dixon, a.k.a. T.A. Ta, I guess. So apparently, Fat Joe must have cut him off. He's been mad at Fat Joe for over a year, okay? This video is from a year ago. Let's hear his words before we start reading these allegations.
Where y'all fell out? When was this?
By the way, also, I just want to point this out. To come back years later and say you seen a man fuck kids, but you were cool with him the entire times you allege he was fucking kids, and you only now are revealing he fucked kids when you get cut off, it's nasty work. This is really nasty work. So you're saying that when you and him were cool, it was cool that he was fucking kids. But now that y'all not cool, it's time to blow the whistle about him fucking kids. Chat, you know what I like about the more time goes on? We're starting to see a lot of bullshit, and I think people are wisening up. Like, y'all really want to spit in the air and have us believe it's fucking rain that's coming down.
Looking back, Choke, I'm starting to feel like when I quit on him 3 different times, he always kept it deep down inside and said, I'm gonna get this nigga back some way, somehow. Right? But I get up for that, bro. Like, yo, bro, I went to Asia 2 times without you, bro. You never got on a plane. One time we got threatened. They said they're gonna cut our heads off. And you didn't get sued because I came up with the master plans 2 times. I went hard for you. I wrote 3 albums, then some. I formatted all the way up on a plane coming back from Australia. I got footage, bro. Niggas wasn't really all the way up, wasn't ringing off like that. I had a record called Hundreds and Fifties with my brother Kish Gunner. That shit was ringing off. We performed all the way up and then performed Hundreds and Fifties. And the reaction to Hundreds and Fifties was way stronger than all the way up, bro. And Joe,
what the fuck is 150s?
Joe was like, damn, TA, you might have a hit on your hand. And I got a video that I shot to 150. Joe's in the video, bro. But he never really...
Okay, so this story is old as dirt. This guy thinks he was the real star. And Fat Joe probably stifled his career and never gave him his proper shine. The delusion is at all-time high. This is Delulu at his finest.
Really went hard with my music. So when we fell out, it was going... Me quitting on him 3 times, I felt like he held that down inside him and said he was going to get me back. Then I dropped the one-time record, and fuck it, I'm going to say it. Somebody that was in Cool and Dre camp, they had hit me up, and it was like, yo, I just heard a conversation. I was in the studio with Joe, Cool and Dre, and Dre said, yo, Joe, we can't let this nigga blow. One Time is already on the radio, all over 107. All over 105, Cosmic Cab in Philly's playing it. They're playing it in Tampa. They playing it in Orlando. They playing it in Miami. The shit is getting spins. The BDS is just picking up. All they had to do was drop the bag to take it to the next level. It could have been the next all the way up, the next lean back. It had Joe and Remy on it. They said, yo, the nigga Dre was like, yo, we can't let this nigga TA blow up. He ain't putting enough work. Putting enough work, fam. Dre. I wrote over 3 albums for this nigga, bro. You don't believe it? Ask that sucker nigga when you see him in Miami, nigga. How didn't put in enough work? You the sucker nigga, Dre, that went and produced a hit for 50 Cent while we was beefing with them niggas G-Unit. And Joe put you on, nigga. You and Cool.
Damn, pray for this brother, man. I can tell he's upset. Yo, poverty's no joke, chat. Poverty's no joke.
He put y'all niggas on. But what's up with loyalty? Dre's right there. Dre shot 20, 30 videos with Joe albums, nigga. Do Dre deserve that? The fuck out of here, nigga. He don't deserve that. That nigga's the fucking devil and he know to keep his mouth shut. Cause he know what I know. And it's very valuable. And it will burn him. Burn that nigga alive, bro. Them niggas know, don't fucking play with me, bro. None of them niggas don't play with me, bro. I know too much, bro. So Dre blocked that. Dre blocked the Ghazi was gonna put the 150 because Empire put it out. Ghazi was gonna put up the $150 behind the record. You know you gotta spin that bag to keep it up. So Ghazi took the $150 and put it behind Pick It Up. Nigga said immediately Dre started working on Pick It Up, the Tupac shit, the sample. Them niggas, I heard they paid like 70,000 or some wild shit, 65,000 to get it cleared, the sample. Record went nowhere, bro. Them niggas shot a big ass video in Vegas, all that, bro. The record went nowhere, bro. I had niggas coming up to me saying, yo, TA, they hating on you. They don't want you to blow. And I'm not gonna blow niggas up because I got love for a lot of niggas too that's still close to the side.
Okay, all right. He keeps saying that, I just want to hear like some real shit.
I'm doing little hostings, walkthroughs. I'm thinking like, that was cool. I found her. I'm looking at Joe like he's my brother, Choke. Yo, Choke, I'm your brother and I'm in Africa and you in the US, Choke. And I know you have the power to make things happen with somebody's career. And I know you're going to do right by me, Choke. I'm bringing them to you, Choke. Mm-hmm. I'm like an A&R at this point. I'm bringing them. Yo, I got you. Yo, T.
Okay, I'm trying to hear some of this crazy shit that he's saying in the lawsuit. So right now he's only talking about his career. He says that Fat Joe didn't want him to blow up. Okay, great. You're the most talented guy. Fat Joe hated on you. Okay.
Whatever, man. I'm ready for war, Joe. Tell me I'm going to blow this stuff. I want to get on and shit on you, Joe, and be like, I'm never talking to you again, Joe. Peace out. I want to get on so I could feed my fucking family, nigga, and we could go on and finish what we got started. That's what I wanted to do, Fat Joe. I never wanted to leave his side, bro. I never put a number on how much money I wanted to make. I just wanted to work and make money. But I never said I was going to keep it to myself. I wanted Joe to get Jay-Z rich, nigga. I wanted Joe to pass Khaled, nigga. I told Joe, nigga, don't worry about Khaled, nigga. You gonna pass him. Just keep doing what you doing, nigga. Let's keep putting out albums and music, nigga. Fuck what Khaled is doing, nigga. Khaled is jumping from ship to ship, nigga. That ain't no talent, nigga. He got 100 niggas on songs, nigga. Anybody could do that, nigga. Anybody could put niggas on songs, nigga, and be like, yo, we next. Right. We next. Anybody, and I fuck with Khaled. I ain't got no fucking man got knocked out by another nigga. I go to his man's house. His man got the nigga on the refrigerator that knocked this man out. Where they do that? Where's the loyalty at, bro? This nigga got 5 TS tattoos on him, loyalty all over his body, but where you loyal at, bro? Who's loyal? Tell me who's loyal in TS. Tell me. You know the history, bro. Tone left 13 years. Remy, I love you, but Remy left and she had her reasons why she left, and she should have never came back. It's cool. Tone left. Remy left. Cool and Dre left. Them niggas produced for 50 Cent. How about this? Your man Pistol Pete slapped your man Dre up in the studio in Manhattan, grabbed him by his TS chain because he produced for 50 Cent, gave him a hit. I was right in the room when Pistol Pete did it. Say, TA, come with me. Yo, Dre, come to the back. Slap the shit out of Dre like 5 times, bro. Tall Dre, the producer, grabbed him by his chain, nigga. Fucking make another beat for them G-Unit Knicks, nigga. Turf Squad, nigga. Just like that.
Wow.
Them niggas made 50 Cent stronger, and it's all good, bro. But look, where is the loyalty, fam?
I keep telling you, bro, this shit is business.
Yeah, it is, but Joe got to stop using that word. Them niggas got to stop using that word. Till this day, them niggas be talking shit about me. Yo, that nigga's not loyal. You never been loyal. Suck a dick, nigga. Y'all niggas don't even understand what loyal is. And niggas is not holding water, nigga. The killers of all killers is telling, bro. Them niggas ain't trying to do 5 days, bro. Joe's not trying to go back nowhere, bro. What's up with Fat Joe? Get this nigga out of here, bro.
Tasha Rain, can you block Simon Says? If you rap sandbox with her.
What is this? Okay, anyway. All right, so y'all know a little bit about that guy. Y'all go watch a whole interview there if y'all want to see what the hell he's talking about. Anyway, so let's get into a little bit of the lawsuit. It's 157 pages. Like, whoa. All right. Cool. So, all right, so this guy said for 16 years he was loyal to Fat Joe. Despite that, Fat Joe didn't pay him, so he's suing for, compensation, and he's saying that Fat Joe, he performed songs he did vocals or background vocals on songs like these that Fat Joe never paid him for. He's talented. He traveled. Oh my God. All right. So this is a hype man saying, yo, I went on the road with you. I didn't get paid. I assisted him in maintaining a criminal enterprise. This is crazy. We're key associates and enforcers, including defendant Pistol Pete and defendant Richard Playa. What? What the hell? Okay. They even sued Rock Nation. And I'm very glad they sued Rock Nation. I'm going to tell you why. Because this lawyer, if it's one person going to show that nigga, don't fuck with The Rock, it's definitely going to be The Rock. Okay. You're suing Rock Nation? Good luck. Wait till Alex Spiro gets on this motherfucker right here. It's going to be GG's. Watch. GG's in the chat when Rock Nation gets on this shit. Okay, so this nigga even suing Rock Nation. So Fat Joe gets Taco Pina. Taco Pina, he's a big boss. He gonna handle a lot of this shit. But wait till Rock Nation's lawyer, Spiro, gets up in this. He's gonna be on timing. All right, bet. Okay. By the way, I predict they're gonna drop Rock Nation from this in a month. Guaranteed. Rock Nation's getting dropped from this, right? 100%. Okay, so let's hear some of these allegations, right? Oh my God. The defendants engaged in deliberate fraud tax schemes by submitting intentionally inflated and whatever income reports to the IRS, significantly overstating the actual compensation that the plaintiff received. So they're saying Fat Joe is running a criminal enterprise, and it's not speculative. It's been corroborated by firsthand witnesses, recorded phone calls, and documented evidence in the possession of accountant Doe, who personally handled the financial affairs of Fat Joe, and confirmed that the plaintiff was intentionally excluded from formal payment systems. So basically, Fat Joe was payment in cash. W-2s were falsely inflated and reported to the IRS to create a fictitious paper trail. He personally collected between $600,000 and $200,000 in cash. Collected $600,000, $200,000 in cash at different times. I guess never reported, Rock Nation received 10% of all the revenue from all of his businesses, and numerous financial records were fabricated or withheld to avoid paying the plaintiff the proper royalties that were owed. Okay, all right. In one of these documented instances, Fat Joe pocketed a $30,000 Live Nation performance check for the All the Way Up tour. The money was rightfully allocated to the plaintiff's contribution. Cartagena would use the funds to pay off his back taxes owed to IRS, as confirmed by a witness who was part of the management team at the time. They're saying Fat Joe earns an estimated $60,000 a month and at least $20,000. So $60,000 in royalties and $20,000 monthly in streaming revenue, which he's never shared with the plaintiff, despite the plaintiff writing a lot of the songs, supposedly, right? Okay. Then they put some sex-based stuff in it. Plaintiff was not only exploited financially, but subjected to a wide spectrum of sexual coercion, psychological control, forced exhibitionism, and surveillance-based humiliation, including being compelled to perform sexual acts under observation, being filmed and directed by the defendant in the presence of others, tactics designed to control the plaintiff's body and erode his autonomy and ensure silence. Okay. These sex-based abuses were not private, incidental, or isolated. They're integral to the way the enterprise culture of dominance and humiliation enforced the defendant's associates such as Pistol Pete, JB, and others, and sustained numerous tour locations, including Miami, North Carolina, Germany, Spain, and Wisconsin. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me scroll up a little bit. Oh, this is just a preliminary statement. Holy shit. Okay. They got some more stuff here. Defendant also used social media burner accounts, including this and this, to issue veiled threats saying you love your family, right? Fall back in 48 hours. We let you live. Okay, so what's usually important in these lawsuits is Pistol Pete got sued. Some guy named Rich Player got sued. Erica Juliana gets sued. Who is this? Who is this? She's a legal agent, supposedly. There's a touring company, Slate. What the fuck is this? Slate, Rock Nation. And there's defendants, Jane Doe's 1 to 10, which means unknown people at the time. Okay, let's just go down. Let's go down. And where's the interesting part is going to be at a place called Factual Allegations. Factual Allegations. Here we go. Do we pass it already? Nah, they're just ranting. Coercive control. Oh my God, this is so much shit. There's slashings. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to get the. What the fuck? Oh, okay. The defendant's penance for exploitation was not limited to artists or collaborators. During time working for Fat Joe, the plaintiff personally witnessed the defendant engage in sexual relationships with children who were 15 and 16 years old. Minor one is 16-year-old Dominican girl residing in New York. In exchange for cash, clothing, and payment of her cell phone bill, Fat Joe would get oral sex and other sex acts performed on him by minor one. What the fuck? Let me tell you why I'm saying what the fuck, chat. Why is this even in this lawsuit unless minor Doe 1 is a plaintiff? Like, how are you putting these allegations? I know how he's putting it in there. They're saying, oh, I witnessed it. I witnessed him have sex with underage kids, and that's why I'm going to put it in here. But we all know what it's for. They're putting it in here to, like, make this shit sound crazy. But the proper lawsuit should be, if this is true, minor Doe 1 suing Fat Joe. But this person is not even on the case as a plaintiff, right? But whatever. On one occasion, driving to New York City, minor Doe 1 asked Fat Joe for money to pay for a cell phone bill. See, this is another thing that this lawyer does. He's always taking pot shots in a lawsuit. Being notoriously cheap. The defendant, so Fat Joe, claimed to be broke. This upset minor Doe 1, who began yelling, cursing, and screaming. Plaintiff begged the defendant to pay the minor's phone bill, which was less than $100. Okay. Minor Doe 2. It's a Caucasian female. She's not a United States citizen. The defendant began having sexual relations with minor Doe 2 when she was 15 years of age after an overseas concert. Defendant flew minor Doe 2 to New York City and Miami and Florida on multiple occasions. Due to minor Doe 2 body being an adolescent and not fully formed, the defendant paid for her to get a Brazilian butt lift. Minor Doe 2 eventually left the defendant and is now married to a professional athlete. What the fuck? Minor Doe 3 is a Latino female who met the defendant when she was 15, turning 16. According to the plaintiff, the defendant was in love with minor Doe 3. He even contemplated leaving his wife. Chat, you could tell this shit is to fuck up Fat Joe's entire household. Yeah, he was even about to leave his wife for this child. Fat Joe paid all of minor Doe 3's bills and even took her overseas on his tour stops. He brought her to Florida and would put her in a condo he rented a few blocks from his house with his wife. In a recorded conversation, minor Doe 3 and the 15-year-old cousin describe in detail how the plaintiff describing detail to the plaintiff how inappropriate it was for Fat Joe, who was in his late 30s at the time, to be fawning over children. Wow. So Fat Joe sees no shame in his depravity towards children. Fat Joe has demonstrated a disturbing lack of remorse or discretion regarding his predatory behavior. Rather than conceal his action, he has had on multiple occasions alluded to or openly referenced sexually inappropriate conduct in his public persona and artistic output. In a song titled "She's My Mama," defendant delivers lyrics that says, when considered in context, reflects an unhealthy and troubling fixation on underage individuals. The content of the song is explicit and suggestive and disturbingly detailed, and defendant uses it to normalize and romanticize and even boast about the behavior that aligns with pattern of coercion and exploitation described through this complaint. The plaintiff asserts that the lyrical references are not fictionalized or abstract, but form of a larger pattern that Fat Joe uses his platform in music to project an excuse and reinforces the abuse of power and boundary violations that have marked his conduct towards the plaintiff and others using his individual. Okay. All right. In the relevant part, the defendant says, now, she was 16. I had to nurture that, give her some growth. I waited till I touched the cat. What? Okay, is this a Fat Joe song? Wait, Fat Joe got a song like this? Let me see. Let's see this song. She's My Mama by Fat Joe. She's My Mama, Fat Joe. Is this real? You know, one man's treasure is another man's trash. And you know the man who sleeps on the floor can't fall the fuck off the bed, nigga. Okay, she's my mommy. I love you so much. You drive me crazy. Want to be down. Rolling with me. Okay, whatever. Oh, shit. Now she was 16. Oh, what? Now I got to listen to this song. Pause. Like, this is a real song? Yo, Fat Joe. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, yo, this is all cap just because of the lawyer. I'm like, yo, this is all cap. It's a bad song. Now, she was only 16. I had to nurture that. Give her some growth. Waited till I touched the cat. What? Told her she was going to have to work if she going to get ahead. Then she drove me berserk when she gave me some head. She told me that she learned that from porno flicks. I said, mommy, stop talking. Just suck on his dick. I ain't say her name yet, so let's say she nothing. Now watch me turn this nothing into something. Get it? Mommy, get in that kitchen. This is free base. Just cook it. What? Is he talking about drugs? I'm not shooting him any bail, Chad, honestly, but is he talking about drugs and just describing it as a woman, or is this nigga really talking about a woman?
Whatever, man.
Hold on, let me see. She's my... We might catch a copyright, but we got to play this shit. Ain't no fucking way.
She's my baby. I love you so much. You're driving me crazy.
Is this song, is it about drugs, or is it really talking about a woman? What? I met her at Rucker Park watching the Stars play. I knew she was a terror. She was watching the Squad play. Okay, never mind. I think he's talking about a woman. Yeah, he's definitely talking about a woman. She was pushing the Bubble X type of eye candy you would see in the Double X. Fat ass, long hair, short like Nia Long. I knew she was a victim from the start. Oh, hell no. Nah, hold on. Is this a real song? Wait, hold on, Chad.
Said, mommy, stop talking, just suck on this dick.
Hey,
I ain't say your name yet. He was only 16.
Is he talking about drugs? Like, this is crazy. Nigga, how could this song, if it's talking about a girl, how could this song be out and nobody, like, the whole culture don't be like, what the fuck? Wait. I'm looking for some context, but We hit the club on some clico shit. See the respect that you get from just being my bitch. Look, see him. They sick. They want to be in your shoes. That's the game I hit her with to leave her confused. I'm just using her for paper. She want a man. I'm about to see my other bitch, but she understand. I knew she was a victim from the start. My G is strong. And then she said she ain't feel this good in 10 summers. Gave me credit card and debit card with the PIN numbers. I'm looking at receipts. She spends G's on the kid. I'm pushing the V. Even got keys to the crib. If I needed to bag up, I bought G's to the crib. I got knocked. What'd she do? She put up the deed to the crib. Okay, this gotta be a grown woman now. Well, this song is just kind of fucked. Yeah, I don't know about this one, Chad. This sounds crazy. I ain't gonna lie, I was hoping that this was gonna be so much bullshit. We're like, yo, throw this case out. But I ain't gonna lie, Fat Joe, you gotta delete that song, gang. That song sounds crazy. I ain't gonna lie, though. This is not justified. I think most of them niggas in the 90s, though, they used to be rapping about, like, them little girls. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, it's kind of odd. It's definitely kind of odd, right? Anyway, Jesus Christ. That was bad. Fat Joe, that was bad. Okay, all right. Why the fuck would you make a song like that? Whatever. Wait. Okay. Based on the information and belief, She's My Mama was written about Miss Doe 3, who confirms engaged in many of the acts outlined in the lyrics above. Furthermore, Doe 3 was required to hold jewelry, drugs, and other questionable items that are illegal to be in a child's possession when she traveled with the defendant. The defendant's transportation and sexual intercourse with these minors constitute violation that violates these New York State, Florida, and even federal laws. And I ain't gonna lie to you. One thing about this lawyer, he loves piggybacking off like the current federal criminal cases. See, they put the Mann Act that Diddy's charged with. So this is why they put the Mann Act. Anyway. Oh my God. Defendant Joe covers up Dre, Christopher Lyon, from Cool and Dre's statutory R word or rape of K. Rose. Is this Diddy? See, that's the thing about this lawyer, bro. It's kind of like just trashy. I feel like he intentionally puts a video of Diddy in there to make Fat Joe look like whatever. And for me, it feels like you're writing a blog more than you're actually doing legal work, right? Like, just put the allegations against Fat Joe. And look what he captions it. Dre, this is Cool and Dre, I guess, this guy right here. Fat Joe, Diddy, who's currently a federal inmate, and DJ Khaled. Okay. All right. K. Rose was a 15-year-old singer signed to Akademiks Records, a label owned by Dre. From the beginning of the relationship, Dre began grooming K. Rose and started having sexual encounter with the child in the studio after parents dropped her off to record. The statutory R word of K. Rose lasted for close to a year. According to the plaintiff, one night he and defendant walked in the studio and Dre was screaming, "I'm going to jail, Joe." So Dre was screaming, "I'm going to jail, Joe. I'm going to jail." K. Rose's parents found out I was dealing with K. Rose. According to the plaintiff, K. Rose's parents threatened to lock Dre up. The defendant kept saying, so Fat Joe kept saying, "Calm down, I'm going to take care of it." Once again, I keep telling y'all, chat. So there's 3 minors, somebody named K. Rose, but K. Rose is not suing. So it's like, it becomes almost like gossip. So this guy, Ta, or Terrence Dixon, right? Terrence Dixon, he's suing and just saying, "Oh, I'm suing because I saw you do crimes. I saw you do crimes. And let me just gossip all the crimes you've done, even though none of these things were done to me. But it technically were done to me because I had to witness you do these things," which then comes into a morality play to say, so you watch this man fuck hundreds of kids and you never stepped in once, but now you want some money. So you want damn near, you want a pat on the back for watching him fuck kids. You never reported none of this to the cops. You never intervened. You never said, brother, I'm not with this behavior. You can't fuck children around me. You allowed him to do all this. And 20 years later, now you want to get paid for your pain and suffering because you saw it? This is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of crazy, right? Based on information belief, defendant used a burner phone to send K. Rose's parents a message. K. Rose's career fizzled out and she was rarely heard from again. This is a coordinated retaliation attempt by Enterprise following, what is this? Okay, what is this? It says Pistol Pete said, y'all called you, try to get his number. Okay, so they have a recorded call of Pistol Pete trying to do things. Hold on. Okay. Following plaintiff's efforts to disclose the coercive, fraudulent, and abusive operations of Fat Joe and the criminal enterprise he leads, senior members of Cartagena's enterprise launched a calculated and premeditated campaign of retaliation designed to intimidate, isolate, and silence the plaintiff. Okay, their actions were driven by fear that the plaintiff would disclose. Plaintiff's disclosure would expose him to legal liability, public condemnation, and criminal prosecution. This retaliation was not limited to verbal threats or reputational smears. It was literally operationalized through direct and coordinated outreach with mutual associate named Percy, an individual, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. All right. Got it. So they're saying that there's an audio call where I guess they're threatening the plaintiff. Okay. All right, this is a transcript of it. There's a part where it's supposedly... Okay, there's a whole thing about this. All right. While actively campaigning for Vice President Kamala Harris, defendant made direct threats to the plaintiff from his Instagram burner account. I feel like this is gossip again. Yo, I'm going all the way. Remember that. Do you know what I know? Yo, are you crazy? Yo, it's up. I got you. I own you, nigga. LOL. You think so? LOL. But I'm not. Let's see. Say connections in the White House. Who the fuck are you? Some washed up bum. Are you crazy? Defendant wasn't lying when he said he had connection in the White House, as evidenced by the one-on-one meeting he had with then Vice President Kamala Harris. In addition to one-on-one meeting he had with Kamala Harris, he moderated a criminal justice panel with Vice President Harris. Even had the audacity to bring one of his henchmen and RICO enterprise officers, Rich Player, to meet with the Vice President Harris as well. He had some stuff with Bill Clinton. And then he had some stuff with New York City Mayor Eric Adams. In the following messages, defendant confirms his RICO enterprise when he says, don't need to lift a finger. Biggest in the game. Everyone would do it for me. Says, bring him out. Make it happen. Hurry. He says, don't need to lift a finger. Biggest in the game. He says, you not stopping nothing. Everyone willing to do it for me. Okay, this other one, he says, fuck out of here with that shit. I've been waiting. I guarantee it won't be how you think it's going to go down. Nigga, please. How many times I watch you freeze? Something. He says, nigga, you will get dragged. But be careful. We let you live. Don't you ever forget in your life, everybody is outside. He said, you love your family, right? I guess he said, keep watching, but you a part of it, good, bad. But you a part of the good or bad, feel good about it. You not a don, nigga. You love your family, right? It's a bunch of Instagram messages from a burner account. Business is business. Biggest in the game. You're not ready. Look around. Any more vids coming out? That got real quiet. What happened? Biggest in the game. He says, come up to New York City. He said, if you that nigga, come outside. He says, yo, you could be with whoever, but remember, everyone by themselves when they turn that corner. So you're right, it'll be legendary. So you wouldn't have gone anywhere if it wasn't for me. You wasn't even going to be out of Cyprus. You would be on couch surfing. So you know what happens when you get cut. You cut from everywhere. There's another account called Pablo Escobar. Somebody says, I'm giving $150. That's my word. Nigga said, suck my dick. What up? New York niggas talk so funny. Say, yo, you not the real Pistol Pete. And I guess this guy sent him a video. Then the guy says, yo, you want to fight? Say, you don't want to fight. You're super pussy. I'm telling you, I got you. And he says, your baby mom say you a homo thug. Now blow that whistle. Say, yeah, yap. She better know. Say, can't wait. I got something for any one of you niggas the day that happens. I'm very far from pussy. Ask your mans. Homie hiding behind a fake account. The summer is turned up for Joe, nigga. So you got 48 hours to fall back. Yap, you been warned, son. So what happened? Fall back. See, I've been waiting on y'all niggas. Y'all niggas ain't do nothing yet. Stop with the tough talk. I got something special for you. Y'all want street credit? Who the fuck is this? Says, I'm telling you what I'm gonna do. So beware, I'm far from pussy. And I'm going to give it to you for sure, nigga. Keep playing. So, and yeah, Peter Conga is with me. Says, you could have Jesus with you, nigga. You food and we gonna eat. So whatever you say, you put that video up and I'm gonna make sure you pay in the worst way, pussy nigga. This is Fat Joe account supposedly. Don't you think people gonna be made an example of? He said, yup, that's what I'm doing to you. And then Fat Joe says, so others will understand not to cross. He said, you a big one. Okay. Then it's another fake account, supposedly. Like, how does he know these fake accounts are from Fat Joe? Warning, on top of the other ones. What happened to Brenda, the blood, your BM, what happened? Said, step back. Said, fall back. So it's important the defendant, Fat Joe, never denied plaintiff's insinuations. Prior beatings and redacted were committed on the defendant's order or at his instigation. Huh. Holy shit. Okay. Plaintiff personally witnessed defendant Cartagena uses burner phone to communicate with underage girls, particularly during late night hours or days leading up to out-of-town travel. These communications frequently occurred while defendant Cartagena was in hotel rooms, tour buses, and private locations. Based on direct observation as well as defendant Cartagena remarks, this phone was routinely used to coordinate clandestine meetings, reserve hotel accommodations, and manage travel logistics associated with sex encounters. Holy shit, man. There's so much shit here. Okay. There's a part where 50 Cent is mentioned. As I said, this is mostly gossip, right? Defendant's directive to assault rapper Mac Main. Fat Joe uses physical violence extended beyond retaliation. He also used it to assert dominance over rival entertainers and enforce personal vendettas. Plaintiff recalls one such incident in which Cartagena ordered him to physically assault Mac Main, a well-known artist affiliated with Young Money label. He instructed plaintiffs and others of the terror squad to pound out Mac Main on sight. It didn't matter the time or place. If they saw him, they must attack him. This was in response to a comment that was allegedly made by Mac Main, in which he mocked defendant's Fat Joe's marriage and claimed he could sexually satisfy Fat Joe's wife better than Fat Joe could. According to the plaintiff, Fat Joe told Mac Main he crossed the line when he said that. He said, I know that fat nigga ain't fucking his wife right. I fuck the shit out of her if I get the chance. So although the plaintiff didn't carry out the assault, the directive itself reflects the defendant's operational practice of issuing verbal orders intended to result in violence. What the fuck? This is where he has a burner phone. They tried to lure the plaintiff into a violent trap. Fat Joe ordered and directed an assault on DMX. What the hell? Fat Joe use of violence extended beyond his internal crew. In one incident in Miami and Florida, defendant ordered Fat Joe, ordered the plaintiff, so Fat Joe ordered the plaintiff and another associate named Raul to confront and physically assault rapper DMX following a verbal dispute between DMX and someone in Fat Joe's circle. The defendant viewed the altercation as an act of public disrespect and ordered immediate retaliation. He instructed the plaintiff, saying, if he acts up, take the hammer. The phrase take the hammer was understood within the enterprise to say use a firearm, not simply engage in physical or verbal confrontation. Although the plaintiff ultimately diffused the encounter and avoided using a violent outcome, his compliance in initiating the confrontation under the threat of the enterprise reprisal highlights that the defendant's orders were non-negotiable. With the structure of the enterprise, the verbal directives from the defendant, especially with those of threats of violence, were treated as mandatory. Holy shit. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Some tax stuff. So rather than viewing this, the defendants. Okay. Pistol Pete social media campaign affirming is repeat. Okay. Kill all rats. All right. So now this guy is outlining a civil RICO. So this is a civil RICO with predicate acts of forced labor, sex trafficking, witness retaliation, which probably is intimidation, conspiracy to commit violence, directive assault on DMX, stabbings, another stabbing, an assault directive, interstate sex trafficking of minors, commercial fraud, tax evasion and money laundering, PPP loan. Jesus Christ. How many? They put 24 predicate acts that they believe that Fat Joe has done. They're saying that Fat Joe has a RICO, like he has a criminal enterprise. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. So now they're going over the enterprise. These are the people, Fat Joe, this person. This is Fat Joe's daughter, supposedly. Slate is a conduit, which is a financial conduit. Believe that LLC does money laundering for them. This thing. Enforcers. Okay, Jesus Christ. All right. Anyway. Miami shit. I want to go read the 50 Cent thing. This is a lot. This is a lot, Chad. Let me just search. What the hell? They're saying Fat Joe cut fake pay stubs to just not pay taxes or something like that. They're showing compensation to show how much money was probably missed out on. Okay. So these are the counts, right? Can I see a side? Okay. So I think count one is the RICO. They're doing a civil RICO. And yes, there's criminal RICO and then there's civil RICO, okay? So when you sue someone in federal court, you could actually accuse them of having a civil RICO or a civil racketeering enterprise, right? Then count two is unjust enrichment. Count three is quantum merit, which is what? Recovery for reasonable services of reasonable value of services rendered. Okay, that's some like pay stuff. Count four is fraudulent concealment. And Count 5 is constructive trust. Count 6 is fraudulent misrepresentation. Count 7. Oh, count 7 is a civil RICO. So what's count 1?
So Diddy's case or trial has finally started. They're picking out the jurors and stuff. Do you guys feel like Diddy will be freed, or you feel me, he's cooked? I've been reading a lot of comments. A lot of people has been saying that Diddy's cooked. You feel me? I don't even know how I necessarily feel about Diddy. Because like at first everyone wanted him locked up, then it's like people kind of feel bad for him now. Because I'm not gonna lie, the stuff he did to Cassie is 100% wrong. What he did to Cassie is 1,000% wrong, and people would never agree with it. But like, if you want to call it for what it is, Diddy was a freak. Okay, if people underage are involved, lock him up, throw him under the jail. But if people underage aren't involved, bro, Diddy is a freak, bro. Like his lawyer said, he's a swinger, bro. Like you feel me? He might want to watch his wife get piped out. He might, you don't know what did he want to watch. He wants to watch everything. He's a freaky man. He's a freak. That's why they're called freak offs. Get all the freaks together. What do you think's gonna happen? Baby oil with stuff in it that when it goes into your skin, you're paralyzed. Like, yes, that's what happens at the freak off. There's obviously 2 parties to a Diddy party. There's the party, and then there's the party. Have you ever been invited to the party before? Probably not. But hey, man, let me know how you guys feel about Diddy. Do you want him locked up or do you want him free? Do you feel bad for Diddy? Even if Diddy gets freed, I think his career is done. No one's ever gonna work with him again. No brand's gonna work with him. You feel me? He's still gonna make money off. He probably has real estate like tenants and stuff, and probably like investments that we don't know about. So he's probably still gonna make money, but he's not gonna be making the same money as before. Like he's probably definitely at a billionaire status now. But hey, man, it's your boy Big X News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.